Welcome everyone to this video number 20. This is Deborah here on the Costa Blanca in sunny Spain, and this video kind of follows on from the previous videos that I've done where we made dots in the microwave kiln or the ordinary kiln, and this is making rods or strips and also the ideas of jewellery that you can make using them, some of which also incorporate the dots that we made previously. So all these strips here were made in a microwave kiln, although you could equally make them in a normal kiln on a tack fuse. So stay with me and let's make some beautiful Dichroic jewellery. So this is how I make my rods, and they need to be thin, but you don't need to cut too thin, A, because it's very difficult, and B, because they'll go thinner, if you know what I mean, because they'll pull up. So about that width. And you can try using these for your strip, or you can use your grosses. So I'm just going to make a couple of strips of that colour. I'm just going to try and go a little bit thinner than that one if I can. But I'll definitely have to use grosses for that. Go. Just a couple of little bits at the end. That's okay. Can go in my scrap box. So we've got a nice thin one there. So I'm going to do that with a few pieces that I haven't got. I've got a lot of clear, I haven't got many on black. I do like these type with the textured on, so I'm going to just do a few more of those. Just right, thicker ones are always a little bit harder to do. They're ready to go in the microwave kiln now. And here they are out of the kiln. So these are some extra rods that I made as well as those that I showed you. I've got a couple of ideas. I'm sure there's lots of things you can make with rods, but I've got a couple of ideas of ones that I make that turn out quite well. And the first ones are like these. These are ones I've made in the past, which are quick and easy, just a tack fuse. And these ones here really display the colour of the Dichroic glass. So we're going to make some of those, both sets. I'm going to compart it directly onto here and then I'm going to transport it like that to the kiln shelf, and then I shall level that up with the kiln shelf and just slide this off onto the kiln shelf. Normally I would compile on the kiln shelf, but I've got other things in there, as I always have, so I'm going to have to transport it. And I'm going to put plenty of glue tack on to hold it in place, and also it'll stick to the base, this base paper as well, which won't be a problem. And I'm going for a blue gold design, so all I'm doing is placing these randomly on the bottom. Now I'm just going to cut that one. And don't worry about the sharp edge on there, because it will soften when you put it into tap fuse. So I'm just getting a nice shape at the bottom, whatever shape you want. I'm not too worried about the top, because that's going to get covered with the top layer pretty much anyway, or top layers. So that's my bottom layer. Now you're going to have to put pieces that are going to go in like the valleys of here, because otherwise it's going to break. So it's going to need some support. And this one I'm going to put another layer of the rods on black and clear. I'm also making sure that I put them dichroic side up, because the bottom is dichroic side up and I don't want them to repel. You can see the colours building up in that already, can't you? And by making these shorter, the ones on the top, you're seeing the colours underneath as well. Just going to add a few shorter ones on the top, just to make sure that this is all going to fuse together nicely and so it doesn't snap. Now what does look nice with these as well is if you've got clear lengths of fused glass, because it actually acts as a magnifying glass. So that's the first one. Second one is what I call my hashtag design. So I'm going to leave gaps between them this time, and they're going to go at an angle like a hashtag is. In fact, a hashtag is that way, isn't it? But this is going to have more lines in than what a hashtag has. So that's the other one that's completed, and the rods going across will support the rods underneath, so they're all fused together nicely and be a strong piece. Now I'm just going to put my glass tack on now, they're all going to move. So it's because you put in lubricant in there, aren't you? So that one moves, so you just have to be prepared to put them back into place. But the glass tack will stick them to the base as well, which will help prevent them moving and won't affect the fuse at all. But you just tend to want to make them stick together, which is not what I want. I want spaces between them, so you just have to have a little bit of patience here. It's just like pulling them together, the liquid part of it. As the glass tack is drying, look, it is getting easier to separate them. And another little experiment. I thought maybe we could do something with the dots that we did in one of the previous videos as well. So we've got dots and rods. I'm sure there's lots of patterns you could make with dots and rods. So I've put these together in this pattern, and it was a bit of a trial of patience to get them to stay, but they're all there and they're glass tacked. So this one is based on the hashtag one here, in that you've got 4 stripes on the bottom, glass tacked. Then these stripes on the top with the balls in there. I mean, it looks a bit sort of it looks a bit angular at the moment, but that will all soften off when it goes into the kiln. And this is another option, I suppose, just an idea I've just come up with, is this little fan shaped one, and I do happen to have a triangle that I cut out on a previous video that I think is going to fit. I've put those on there, but I've got to reposition them on here now. Obviously this does have to go on a base, or it would never hold together. It would be too fragile. So that's lovely. So I've just done this little oval one down here, a lot smaller, and I'm liking the compactness of it, and I'm looking back up at this one here. I'm thinking I'm going to cut these just are too long. And the reason I made this oval one down here was to use up the little bits, really. But it's made me see the error of my ways. Okay, I don't know about that one. It's not my cup of tea, really. I mean, it's okay, but somebody's going to love it. This is the thing. You make things and you think, oh, I don't know if I like that or not. And then somebody buys it because they really like it and they love it. And you think, well, everybody's different, aren't they? But anyway, that's a few ideas. I'm sure you come up with loads more yourself, but it's certainly a starting point. Okay, another couple of ideas I've had. It's getting late now, I must finish. Using the balls again was to put just a little bit of a pattern across there, and then I remembered the zigzag ones, bits of wavy glass it's called, that I used in another video. So I've used a couple of those and put another pattern in there, and I suppose we could go on forever thinking of patterns to put in. So they're all out of the kiln. This is what they look like. Lovely blue, you can see the blue base and the lovely colours of the gold with a hint of green on the top. You could produce quite a lot of those pendants, couldn't you, quite easily, lots of different colours. And that one, I love that one. It isn't quite nice to have a little frame of white or black around your Dichroic sometimes, but it would also look nice if it was taken right down to the actual Dichroic itself. But you could put your bail on, have it that way, or put the bail on and have it that way. This one, again, lots of different colours, lots of textures. So you could have that in a nice diamond shape, or whichever way around you want, really. Like that one, that's come out nice, unusual. A host of colour again. These two here, they just catch the light so much. I think because you've got the texture as well as the Dichroic catches the light, the texture, it's like when they cut facets on a diamond, isn't it, to catch the light and create the shimmer on the diamond. It's the same with the Dichroic, same with that one. This one I've left till last because I think it's moved. I don't think when I put it in, I think I had that fairly central to the rest of the glass, but it's moved up. What happens if when you've got it like this, even with glue on it, if you've got some Dichroic that's touching other Dichroic, it's going to like move. It's going to want to get away from it because it's touching the other Dichroic, and I think that's probably what happened, and slightly happened with the dots in the middle as well, because they're not right up against the wavy. So I think because that wavy's got Dichroic all the way right to the bottom, it's repelled it. That's the joy of tack fusing, I think, and leaving the raw Dichroic up, is you get such vivid colours. Who wants diamonds when you can have Dichroic jewellery? That's what I say. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Here are the images of the final pendants. If you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button please. Turn on notifications, like it and share it would be good. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. So bye for now.